love the channel and find it useful in becoming a happy retiree. Subscribe today. Richard, good morning. Welcome to the show. What's going on? How can I help?
Yes, sir. My question is, I want to move over to precious metals. And, of course, we have paper, and we have storage, and then we have the option to bring it home. And I'm looking for the pros and cons on that. I'd like to move 20% over, which would be about $100,000.
So you've got plenty of precious metals, and I would suspect, so is this mostly, probably, this is a gold or various precious metals?
It'd be gold and silver in that form.
Got it.
If I brought it home, it'd be gold and silver. I wouldn't bring titanium and the other stuff home, but
well,
that's what I was looking at.
Yeah, so I mean, and you own this really from an investment perspective, or is this just your safe insurance type money?
No, I actually have a 401k now. I'm moving some out of the 401k, which is company, and I'm going to move over into another market. And when I move over to another market, I have been seeing these advertisements about such and such company says, buy gold. This company says, here, buy precious golds and keep it at home. And then, of course, I know about the paper aspect where you can buy stock in gold. And I'm just looking for the pros and cons. I can't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so it's interesting. There has gotten to there's the around the world, we've gotten to a point where not just with precious metals, but if you go back to, let's think about Europe for a second. Let's go back 6 months to 12 months ago, where we had hundreds of billions of dollars, or actually, I think we got to over $1 trillion around the world that was sitting in bank accounts, not home, but bank accounts that were at negative interest, Richard. So there became, and this was in Japan, and this was in Europe, and families were starting to say, well, why don't I just take my cash out of the bank and put it in a safe, so that I'm not getting reverse interest on it to some extent, right? So you have negative interest rates where banks are charging you to have your money sitting in a bank account for the safety of getting most of it back after a term. And there became a big movement, as you can imagine. Well, why don't I just take my money and put it in a safe where I don't get charged? Now, granted, you've got to buy a safe. That's not inexpensive, by the way. So if you want a legitimate safe that can hold hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's to some extent, you've got couple $1,000 in cost to have something really legitimate. Of course, you can spend whatever you want. If you already have that in place, by the way, I would suspect?
No.
You don't? Okay. Well, I think that's the downside to it, is that you always have to think about having and protecting money that is effectively at your place of residence or wherever you want to put it. There are new worries that come with that. So I think if you've got a real amount of money, 100, 500, $1 million, and it's literally in your own safe, I think that in itself that comes with real concern. So that, to me, from a precious metal standpoint, that would be my biggest worry. I think you may be better off looking at, again, I look at using banks right now. I think that if it's unsafe or unstable to go to a bank, Richard, if it gets that bad in the world that we live in, I think it's even worse if you're protecting your own safe with your own money in the basement. And that's my call. So I think the drawback here is that if you get to the point where we really need your own safe, I think the world's so unstable and so scary that you're inviting even more trouble into the equation. Hi, I'm Wes Moss, and thanks for taking a minute to hear about what's so different about my new book, You Can Retire Sooner Than You Think. So unlike other retirement books, this book will give you a step-by-step guide, whether you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s, to learn from what these successful and happy retirees did to get there. I hope you enjoy the book, but more importantly, I know that it'll help you retire sooner than you think.